Welcome to Cooking While Drunk. Sip on a little sake, a little bit of light beer, and it's kind of rainy, but it's sunny, windy, rainy, sunny, rainy, windy. What the hell's going on with the weather? So, special request by the wife. She tried my beef chili that I made the other day. She goes, "Can you make it with chicken?" And I said, "I will give it a try." So we're gonna make chicken chili. And in any of my chilies, yes, I do not use beans, but I also don't use ground meat. I like chunks of meat. So I have here about 2 pounds of chicken breast. I just kind of cubed up. I have half an onion diced. I have some chili powder, 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon of ancho powder, a couple cloves of garlic, 1 can of diced tomatoes. Here are my chilies. I have some Fresno's, Fe Grandes, which are very mild, a couple of serranos, and a couple of Habaneros. And I probably have 2 Fresnos, 1 serrano, 3 Fe Grandes, but they're actually red. So once they sit on the vine for a little bit longer, they go from green to very light yellow to red. And a couple habaneros. So it's spicy, but it shouldn't be over the top spicy. So preheat your oven to 375, which you just heard mine go off. I have here a cast iron pan preheating in the on the stovetop. So now let's get browning. Alright, a little oil in the pan. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit because I am using my cast iron, and cast irons retain heat. They don't heat evenly. So what I usually do is I will heat my cast iron pans in the oven, because then they will heat evenly. When on the stovetop they don't do it, but this is just for a stew, which is a-okay. So in goes a couple scoops of chicken. I'm going to do this in batches. A little bit of salt. I'm going to brown each batch at a time, take it out, move to the next one, and then we'll be back in about 3 to 5 minutes, and I'm going to have a sip and see you in a few minutes. Cheers, welcome back to Cooking While Drunk. Sipping on my sake. So the meat is browned. Put a little more oil in the pan. We're going to do our onions. I'm going to turn it down low because it's got a lot of residual heat. I'm just going to sweat out the onions for a little bit. This will take a couple of minutes. And as I move the onions around, I'm going to gently scrape the bottom and pull up some of that fond. As the onions release, see how like it's starting to come up already? And we're going to, again, season every layer. And this is just going to let these kind of sweat out a little bit. You don't want them to pop too loud. You don't want them to brown too much or too fast, because you're going to slow cook these anyways. And slow cooking will cook them down. So if you can see in the pot now how the bottom, like all that fond, is just starting to come up and release itself as the onions release their moisture. So I'm going to let this sit for, let it go for about maybe another minute to minute and a half, and then we're going to toss in our garlic. Alright, cheers, have a sip, have a puff, or whatever you want to do for a minute. Hey, don't forget, hit like and subscribe. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Comment, let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like, let me know what you want to see. So, cheers, see you in a minute. Welcome back. Throw in some garlic. And then the garlic, does not need to cook very long. Once you start to smell the garlic, then you're done. You're close to being done. Don't forget, you don't want to burn your garlic. Just keep moving around. Alright, so now that I got my garlic, you kind of smell the garlic. I'm going to make a little hole in the middle here. I'm going to put a little bit of oil. I need to refill this thing. I'm going to add my ancho chili powder. my paprika and my chili powder. So it was 2 tablespoons of chili powder slash paprika and 1 tablespoon of ancho. I just mixed the two of them together. Just and then give this a gentle stir. The hot oil, when it hits the chili powder, will help it bloom. And once you start to smell that fragrance, oh man, I can't wait till we get smell-o-vision. And you see how like now it's starting to get darker. Now we just give it a stir. Look at that. So yes, it'll start to stick a little bit on the bottom, but that's okay because now we're going to add our chilies. There we go. Got to get all them habaneros out, you know. Give that a stir. Once the chilies start to release their capsaicin into the air, which means once you feel that tickle in your nose or your throat, you can go ahead.
Once you see the camera shaking, you can barely take it anymore.
And once they start to turn really, once the powder, the spices turn dark brown, reddish brown, go ahead and add in 1 can of diced tomatoes. This is just regular diced tomatoes. You can use fire roasted, you can, I prefer plain because we're adding our own seasoning. So I wouldn't recommend using the ones with the green chilies or the one with what do you call it? Italian seasoning, or you know, oregano and all that. Oregano doesn't go into chili, anyways. It can if you want to put it. What doesn't belong in chili, which I'm not going to say it, beans, but like I said, I won't say it. As you stir it around, make sure you scrape the bottom, get all that flavor up. Scrape down the sides as well. And you notice I forgot to tell you, I am doing this in my 3-quart Lodge Dutch oven. The lid also acts as a frying pan, so that's what I like about it. I've been doing a lot of my cooking over the last couple of years, more and more on cast iron. And a lot of my cast irons are already naturally stainless steel, or not stainless steel, what do you call it, non-stick, because I season them. And plus, when you wash them, you don't scrub them with soap and water. You just, you know, lightly wash them. There we go.
Even mine lightly washed, you still use soap and water.
Not always. I don't always use soap and water. If it's got raw meat, yes, I'll use a little bit of soap, but not too much, because that soap will dissolve that seasoning. Here's 2 cups of chicken stock. Now, it does look a little cloudy and funny, because this is homemade chicken stock. This is the carcass of 2 chickens and 1 turkey. I like to make my own homemade stock. It just tastes so good. So now, I'm going to mix this up, make sure nothing is stuck to the bottom, let this come to a boil. I'm going to crank it up and let it come to a boil. And once it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn it down to a simmer. I'm going to let it simmer for about 3 minutes or so, just to slightly reduce. And we're going to add our chicken back to the pot and throw it in the oven. So, cheers. See you in a few minutes. As you can see, it's simmering away. Now we're going to pour in our chicken with all the juices. So as it simmered, of course, it thickened up just a little bit. At this point, you really still don't want to taste it because the chicken ain't cooked yet. So there we go. It might be a little liquidy because the chicken did have a lot of liquid in it. But so now we're going to add on our lid. We're going to put this in the oven at 375 for roughly about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to check it at 30 minutes or so just to see how tender the chicken is. Make sure it developed all that, picked up all that flavor. All right, there we go. Cheers. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Welcome back. It's been about 45 minutes. I checked it about 30 minutes, and I figured it needs another 15 or so minutes. So then I took it out on the stovetop and just put it on a little simmer, just to help some of the liquid evaporate and the flavors will condense down. Oh. Here we go. Turn it off. There we go. Look at that. Chicken is nice and tender. Let's give it a try. Mmm. It's got some really good flavor. You don't want to try it?
Not right now.
It's got a kick. Not too much of a kick. I can solve that. Let's go ahead and toss all these in, okay? Just kidding. This is just from today. So it was raining. When it stopped raining, I said, let me go pick the rest of my peppers. I've got my habaneros, my anchos, my poblanos, which I'm going to dry into anchos. My Fresnos, but they're still green, but they're starting to turn red. Don't turn red on the countertop. And of course, my Thai chilies are at the bottom, and some serranos. So delicious. Chicken is really tender. The flavor is there. Doesn't need any more salt or anything. And the spice, it's there, but it's not like, I don't know what she's trying to show me, my kid. But it's not like overpowering. So really delicious. Minimal effort, you know, so, but cheers.
Something I could do.
Thanks for watching Cooking While Drunk. And this is just simple. It's just, you know, chicken stock, chicken, some vegetables. Yeah, brown them, stir, saute, throw everything in a pot, add some liquid, cover it, throw it in the oven for 45 minutes, and we're done. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you want to see. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. All right, cheers. Have a good night.